guys, it's Giulia here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. Here we are with my usual monthly review. May has been for sure the most anticipated month of 2023 so far. We've got the comebacks of three top girl groups, Le Sserafim, aespa and G-Idol, which felt like a blessing of its own. We've got IVE's Japanese debut, we've got the final chapter of the Apocalypse trilogy of Dreamcatcher, and the list goes on. I mean, it wasn't a boring month, that's for sure. A small disclaimer before we start, I will not talk about literally every girl group comeback, but only about the ones that I have something to say about. So if you don't see something on this list, it's because I don't really care. Okay, grab a snack, love, hydrate yourself, cause we're almost in the summer, so it's starting to get really hot. And let's go.
I'm too spicy for your heart. Bring the fire alarm. 심장을 파고드는 너. I'm too spicy.
I have a whole review video for both My World, Unforgiven and Queen Card, so if you wanna see me go in deep with these releases, I suggest you check them out, especially if you wanna know my thoughts on the whole aespa mini album. In sum, I am absolutely obsessed with this era, like I still can't accept that it's over and that it lasted only 2 weeks. I seriously needed more stages to obsess over. I was really scared for this comeback, y'all, cause Girls was just not it. It wasn't a bad song by all means, but it wasn't aespa. It didn't have that spark, that flavor that their previous releases had. Honestly, the whole mini album was such a miss that I just wanna pretend that it doesn't exist. Also, I was scared for this change of concept from their part, given that this whole comeback was supposed to take place in the real world and not in Kwangya. Let me just tell you that I absolutely live for their technology, eye concept, and aesthetic, okay? It's fun, it's entertaining, it's unique, it's high budget, it's aesthetically pleasing, it's everything I want from a group and more. But yeah, I was scared to lose my interest into this comeback without their intense lore and high-tech aesthetic. I was also scared to have a Life's Too Short type of sound. Very pop, very West, but not very aespa. But oh boy, was I wrong. Spicy screams aespa in every possible way. It wasn't experimental like Next Level or Savage, but you could still find their usual heavy beats. Spicy has also a more vibrant and brighter tone compared to their usual title tracks, and for the first time it gives the girls a chance to showcase their powerful and amazing vocals. I also love the cunty and sassy mood of this song. It's a whole vibe honestly, and aespa perfectly captured it. Also, the choreography is so cool, which is definitely not aespa's strong suit with the robotic moves that they usually have to do, but this time the choreo is much more powerful and girly, especially with the spicy move with the pinky. I am obsessed. My only complaint about Spicy is the music video. First of all, it was super low budget, which given the budget that SM has, came quite as a surprise. I was really expecting a pink, glittery, aesthetically pleasing music video. Instead, every set was cheap, basic, and just lazy, honestly. Second of all, I get that they were in the real world, and so that we would not have seen Kwangi anymore, the Avatar members, Black Mamba, and whatever. But still, given the fact that their technology lore is so predominant and well done, I was definitely expecting to see, I don't know, some smartphones, some AirPods Max, some tech special effects Black Mamba style, you get what I mean? Or, I mean, a glimpse of Navis would have been lovely, or of that strange phenomenon that they talked about in the concept photos and teasers, you know, where giant objects were suddenly appearing in the sky, maybe because Navis was in the real world. I don't know, I was expecting to see more of that, honestly. It would have been a way to change the scenario, yes, but not dropping their lore and aesthetic completely, you know? Instead, like this, by watching this spicy music video, I didn't have the feeling that I was watching aespa, but another group completely. The only thing that saved this music video were their amazing visuals and the final set of outfits with the different colors. Like, are you joking right now? This was giving me Powerpuff Girls. I am obsessed. Like, every member having a different color, also in the hair and with body stickers, I gagged. So yeah, even though I don't like that we don't see at all their lore in this comeback, I must say that this is my favorite era of aespa so far. Not only they were glowing on stage and they served like it was their last meal, but we also had a track video for almost every B-side and I just love that. Salty and Sweet, with their usual dark aesthetic, got me so excited I couldn't hold it anymore. Thirsty, with a surprising Friends concept, like they wanted me to die and not make it to the official comeback date, probably. And then Unhappy, with a track video that gave me Euphoria / Olivia Rodrigo vibe. Plus the dreamy pre-release Welcome to My World, with a featuring of Madame Navis herself, even though I must say that she's almost nowhere to be found on this track, but still. Also, I am so happy that they managed to perform both Salty and Sweet and Thirsty a couple of times. I was manifesting a Salty and Sweet stage so hard, so I feel super blessed. So yeah, after the disappointment the girls and the whole mini album was, after the 10th month of hiatus, and after we were promised a full album, they definitely managed to make things right.
I'm hot, my forever is spotlight. I'm star.
Along with Spicy, Queen Card was definitely the comeback of May I was anticipating the most. I absolutely adore the G-Idol latest releases. Both Tomboy and Nude were such iconic comebacks. I love the concepts and the aesthetics. Everything was so well thought and crafted with so much care that I was sure Queen Card would have been no less. And when they dropped the concept teasers with each member having a different character and with what it seemed Mean Girls and Clueless concepts, oh boy. I was sure this would have been a comeback of the year and that I would have been obsessed. And, well, I was right, to some extent. I like Queen Card a lot, and to be honest, I didn't totally expect it. As I said, I love their previous comebacks, but it was more a matter of concept and aesthetic. It's not that I don't like the songs, they were good by all means, but I didn't have them on repeat, you know? While Queen Card is such a mood, I love listening to it in my car, screaming, I'm twerking on the runway, you know? The only complaint that I have about the song is that it's far too short, but at least the outro is like it was supposed to be. But it's the music video that was a huge disappointment for me. I was expecting a super aesthetically pleasing MV, very pink, very Barbie and Mean Girls aesthetic, and instead we've got none of that. And yes, I know that the Allergy music video, the pre-release, has a similar aesthetic of the one that I just explained, but still. Queen Card is a title track, and I was expecting a Mean Girls kind of story where the girls give Soyeon a makeover or something like that. Of course, with a final moral that she was fine the way she was, etc, etc. Instead, the music video was quite confusing, with Soyeon transforming into the other members while she was supposed to be in the operational room to get plastic surgery, something that she eventually decided not to do. Also, the styling was nothing special at all, while in the Allergy MV there were some really pretty and unique looks, especially of Miyeon. Don't get me wrong, there were some things I appreciated in Queen Card MV, like the super funny dance battle, which was a clear white chick reference, but also Yuki and Shua looks as the Y2K workers of the lingerie shop, with their curly hairstyles and the glittery microphones. Iconic. But yeah, I was definitely expecting to be more obsessed with this MV, but unfortunately, it wasn't the case at all. Also, the styling for the stage promotions, I think they could have done so much better, honestly. Like, this Y2K kitsch aesthetic, it's so cool and has so much potential. Like, look at the styling of Shooting Star by XG. It was perfect and embodied the Y2K concept perfectly. I don't think G-Idol stylist has done a great job, unfortunately, even though I loved some sets, like the one with the bags and the last one with the princesses' outfits. I don't have anything to say about the B-sides because unfortunately I don't really like any of them. I mean, Lucid Dream and All Night are fine, but they could have been so much better. Allergy is simply a Disney Channel theme song, which could be okay if the chorus wasn't this annoying. So, not much else to say here.
Unforgiven, I'm a villain, I'm a
Les Seraphim are definitely an amazing group to me, not really for their music, but for their outstanding stage presence, charisma, and personalities. One thing I love about Les Seraphim is that even if they have two ex-IZ*ONE members, you really can't tell the difference with the other members, which I am sorry, Dives, but I cannot really say the same thing for IVE. So this makes me excited every time Le Seraphim release new stuff, even though I am not a fan of their debut song. Anti-Fragile was definitely a big improvement, and I was definitely obsessed with that song at some point of my life, like everyone else. But it kind of aged badly for me in the sense that after a while it became almost annoying listening to it. And unfortunately, almost the same thing happened with Unforgiven. I saw a lot of people disliking it, well for me it was a bop first listen. I love the sample of the Good, the Bad and the Ugly's theme song. I am a fan of kpop song sampling stuff in general, so I may be biased. But yeah, this gave it a really cool western vibe to it, which I think suited the song super well. I even dare to say that I like Unforgiven more than Anti-Fragile. I know, unpopular opinion, but what can you do? It's catchy and I enjoyed watching Le Seraphim perform it. It's just that it's not that it aged badly, but I just kind of lost interest throughout the era. I don't even know why, but it seems to be a constant with Le Seraphim's music. The MV was absolutely nothing special, but Le Seraphim's music videos rarely are, which is a shame given the art that the trailer for Unforgiven was. It was unique, aesthetic and creative, all things that the music video didn't have. Also, I didn't like the parallels that they tried to do with Anti-Fragile, for example with the denim outfits and with some sets that were a clear reminder of the Anti-Fragile music video. Like, Hybe, please, be creative. You can do it. And don't let me start with the utter disappointment that the whole album was. I don't care that it was for lore purposes, promising a full album and then having only 7 new songs because you added many of your previous songs, including the intros, feels just wrong and lazy. Also, I don't know what happened with their music identity, but their first mini album was literally so good. All the B-sides were amazing and really coherent. They managed to create a very distinctive signature sound, even for their B-sides, which is an almost impossible mission, especially for a debut album. Instead, from Anti-Fragile mini-album, they started to release B-sides that every West pop artist could have released. Exactly like No Celestials felt very Avril Lavigne, Flash Forward and No Return feel very Taylor Swift, and I am sorry but I don't mean it as a compliment. The only two B-sides of the album, the only 2 new B-sides of the album that I find interesting are Eve, Psyche and the Bluebird Wife and Fire in the Belly, even if all that Spanish it's a bit cringe at some point, but we get through it. Surprisingly, I am not the biggest Eve, Psyche, etc. lover. I find it too repetitive at some point, but it's nevertheless a really interesting track. I love that they sampled their previous intro, and I am happy that it got a music video and some stage promotions. I was so surprised to see No Return being promoted on music shows as the B-side and not this track, but when the music video dropped, it suddenly made sense.
WAVE, I see you're falling dead for me. Baby, yes, I'm all you'll need. Right on WAVE.
Finally, let's talk about some songs for the first time. So, IVE finally made their Japanese debut, and honestly, I don't have a lot to say, only that it's once again confirmed that IVE is physically unable to release a bad song, and I love the fact that Wave is so IVE, in the sense that it has this distinctive, glamorous, and alluring sound, which is IVE's signature, no doubt. The proof of this is definitely the post-chorus, with a sound that it reminds me a lot of a siren call. Come on now, listen to it and tell me if it doesn't remind you of that. But I personally love the You Give Me Chill verse, it's so sassy, I love it. Also, the music video, even if it's simple, it's quite pleasing. I love when they are in their tennis fits, it suits them a lot, but the scene I like the most is when they are in the pool dancing to the chorus. I don't know why, but I just love it, and it made me rewatch the music video many times. I am genuinely so happy that I like this release from IVE after the disappointment that I Am was. It's not that it's a bad song by all means, again IVE have yet to release a bad title track, but it's just underwhelming and uninteresting from many point of views, but they definitely redeemed themselves with Wave. Triple S are becoming a really interesting group for me. Their whole subunit concept is quite ambitious, and I am afraid the Modhouse is gonna pull a Luna on them, but every release so far has been really good, especially Generation, which is one of my favorite songs of 2022. Cherry Talk marks the debut of their new subunit Crystal Eyes, and even though it's not really my cup of tea, at least it's very interesting. I'm gonna give them that. It has a very unique production made of many different layers, textures, and mood scenes. There are also some really unique sounds of the chorus instrumental that make my brain completely tingle. All of these different sounds contribute to give Cherry Talk a very dreamy, bubbly, and polished aesthetic, and I absolutely adore it. I also love the MV, I found it aesthetically pleasing and very well done. Honestly, the whole EP has this magical sound that you almost feel on a cloud while listening to it. I am so sorry that they got no promotions due to a quote-unquote external force, which many people believe to be probably BBC due to their attempt to boycott the Luna members who recently signed with Modhouse. Boy, that's quite a drama. We'll see how the story unfolds, but I really hope Triple S will manage to promote smoothly in the future while BBC rots in hell. So I am not the biggest Dreamcatcher fan. There are probably only two title tracks that I really like, which are Scream and Peary. Their other songs are not really my cup of tea, so I wasn't that excited for their comeback. But at the same time, given the fact that this was the final chapter of the Apocalypse trilogy, I was really curious to see what would have happened in the story. Because the concept is really interesting and unfortunately very relatable, since it essentially talks about an apocalypse due to climate change and Dreamcatcher being like heroines who try to save the earth. Onto the song, I didn't expect this sound at all. I was expecting a more dark one, but I guess it kind of makes sense concept-wise to make it more dreamy, since if I'm not mistaken, in this chapter they managed to save the earth and make nature flourish again. At least that's what it seems from the music video, given all the flowers and landscapes. I don't know, it's not super clear how this release fits into the trilogy, which I must say is a bit of a shame, but anyway. I am conflicted because there are some parts of Bon Voyage that I like and others that I don't. For example, I really don't like the beginning of the chorus. But I kind of like the end of it, but I especially like the pre-chorus, which is so dreamy and pretty, and also Dami's rap. I don't know, I still have to figure this song out and see how it will grow on me, but I am for sure watching every stage performance because there's something alluring about Dreamcatcher performances. Even if I don't like the songs, they manage to make their stages very aesthetic. I'll give them that. I'ma get it, get it, get it, get it. I'ma get it, get it, get it, get it. As soon as the teasers dropped, I knew I would have liked this song. The chorus is super catchy and I love the dirty lyrics with all the sexual innuendos, especially BM's rap got me like, okay sir, calm down. However, I unfortunately think I will soon forget about this song's existence, cause Iki is catchy, yes, but nothing more, I'm afraid. Anyway, I love the music video. It was very well done, very colorful and entertaining to watch. I especially like the backroom concept. I found it very unique, even though I must admit that I had no idea what a backroom was until Iki came out. But anyway. Also the styling is pretty good, especially if we consider that they are a mixed group. I like the fact that they managed to give them coordinated outfits, but very different at the same time. I don't have a lot to say more about it, so let's move on. This too is a weird as fuck song, but very laid back at the same time. It reminds me a lot of New Jeans and Triple S productions for some reasons, with this chill sound but with the complex production at the same time, and I'm sure this is a precise choice from their part given the success of this new chill and fresh sound that is taking over for Jen. I find Purr super catchy except for the chorus, which ruined the song almost completely for me. I don't like the melody at all and it feels a bit jarring if we compare it to the rest of the song, but the post-chorus totally make up for it. It's so freaking catchy, I can't. For some reasons, I really like the MV, even though I really can't tell why, but the music video too gives me strong Triple S vibes. Also, the choreo is nice and pleasing, and I read that the members themselves came up with it, which is really cool. So, an interesting debut overall for sure. I generally like Twice Japanese songs more than the Korean ones, but I don't know if that applies for Hare. I'm not a fan of the post-chorus, the Hare Hare part that they spoiled, even though I admit it's catchy. The chorus was the real surprise of this song, it's more melodic than I was expecting and it sounds really nice. However, I never got back to this song after listening the first time, so I think I'll forget about it in no time. Also, the MV was unfortunately very basic and low budget, so that didn't help. I am sorry, cause lately I was being very interested in Twice. From Talk That Talk to Moonlight Sunrise and Set Me Free, I was slowly entering in my once era. But Hare failed to spark an interest in me. We'll see how it will go with their next release. Unfortunately, another missed chance for Secret Number to be relevant. I'll admit, Doxa is a step ahead compared to Tap. I think that's how it was called. Even though I think that even Silence would be an improvement compared to that song. Like, gosh, that was the most irrelevant and useless song ever. Anyway, Doxa 2 feels weird. There are too many changes, especially in the chorus. 1 minute I am loving it, the second after I'm hating it. It honestly feels messy and confusing, which it's a shame because the song could have been good, but it fails miserably to do so. There's no highlight, no memorable part to the point that nothing really stick with you, even after a lot of listens. The MV and overall aesthetic give me Dom Cheetah vibe, and I am not complaining by all means. Dom Cheetah 2 felt quite irrelevant, but the aesthetic was there, I'll give them that. And that's what made me follow the music show promotions. You know, I'm really sorry for Secret Number, because I honestly don't get how you can go from Who Dis, which was a really good and catchy song, to these useless songs which are a waste of everyone's time for the member in the first place. Okay guys, this concludes my review. Honestly, I'm a bit conflicted about May. It was an interesting month for sure, full of comebacks, and that's something I appreciated. I am quite satisfied for both aespa, Les Seraphim and G-Idol comebacks, which were definitely the releases I was anticipating the most, and we've got some really surprisingly unique releases, so that's a win for me. But yeah, overall I feel my expectations for this month weren't totally reached. After the initial excitement, I lost interest in almost every release, except for Spicy. So, since we are in June, half of 2023 has gone already, so it's time to start to draw some conclusions about K-pop in 2023. So far, I've liked many songs of this year. January has probably been my favorite month in K-pop so far, but at the same time, really few releases were that iconic if you think about it. Like, I yet have to see a valid SOTY candidate, while in 2022 we already had Tomboy, Feel My Rhythm and Love Dive by now, which are all creative and unique bops, so I really hope that things will take a spin in the second half of 2023, because I feel K-pop is doing the bare minimum. So, stay tuned, because we're gonna witness and review together the next months in the magical universe that is K-pop. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!